Hey, if you're looking for consistency in this video program, you got to talk to my partner. Last video we talked about time value of money, and I want to take that a little bit step further, one more step further, if you would, this video, and talk about the concept of discounting. And it really ties in with time value. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. When I'm teaching a class, oftentimes I'll poll the students and ask them, what would you rather have? Would you rather have $10 today or $1 a month over the next 10 months? And of course, everybody's hands go up that they want $10 today. Right? So let's go back to our previous example. And if you remember in our previous example, I offered you $100,000 today or $100,000 5 years into the future. And chances are you took the $100,000 today. And then I went up on the board and I showed you if you just invested the $100,000 at 5% a year, and again, simple interest, not compounding, etc. At the end of 5 years, you would have $125,000. That's just investing at 5% a year. So now, on this whole concept of discounting, let's say that you go to a seller, a private seller, who's carrying back a mortgage. And he's got a $100,000 mortgage, and he's receiving, and let's just for grins and giggles, just to say $1,000 a month, just to keep the numbers simple. And you say, Mr. Seller, would you like to continue receiving the $1,000 a month for the next umpteen years, or would you rather have a lump sum payment right now? Now, in most cases, the seller's like, gosh, I didn't want to carry paper in the first place. I'd much rather have the cash. And let's say that the seller accepts less cash than the face value of the note. For instance, instead of $100,000, let's say that the seller accepts $80,000. So we're going to put $80,000 up on the board here. We can get the pen to write. $80,000. And again, remember, this is a $100,000 note that's been discounted down to $80,000. So the seller's got a $100,000 note, and you're thinking, why in the world would he sell at $80,000? Well, let me give you an example. Let's say that he's got a good investment, and he can invest that $80,000 at 10%. If he invested it at 10%, again over 5 years, he would make $8,000 in year one, $8,000 in year two, all the way on down to $8,000 in year five. 5 times 8 is 40. At the end of 5 years, he would have his original $80,000 plus $40,000. He'd have $120,000. Or he could continue to receive small monthly payments over a long period of time. I'm not saying that any seller out there necessarily wants to take a discount and sell his note. But a lot of you who are looking at this are home investors, and you know as well as I do that a lot of times people have personal motivations where they need cash and they're willing to take a little bit of a discount in order to get that asset sold. People say, why would you buy it? Who would sell a $200,000 house for $150,000? My answer is somebody who either wants out from underneath the payment or who needs the $150,000. It's the same thing with the note seller. Why in the world would a seller take a discount? And the answer is he needs the money for whatever reason. And we're going to show you again in this series a little bit later how the seller can get a little bit of his money right now or a lot of his money right now just to meet the seller's needs. So the thing you need to remember is this. Number one, sellers will take a discount. Number two, you need to remember you cannot put your worldview on the seller. If you say, oh, I would never do that, that doesn't count. It's what the seller needs and what the seller wants that counts. Not what you want and need, what the seller wants and what he needs. So again, sellers will discount. Number two, it's not up to you to decide whether he'll discount or not. That's their decision. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in proportion. Listen to what the seller has to say and go from there. And come back for the next video. We'll talk about yield.